Welcome to the Happy Never After podcast. I am your host, Mara Merrick. I am here. We're going to do a little Mara and Marshy time. It's our new segment. Everyone loved our episode last week.
They did?
Yeah. It was a huge hit. So I was like, well, now you're part of it.
Oh, no.
I can barely hear you.
Really?
It might be my headphones.
Make yourself louder.
I don't know how to do that. Is that it?
That made me louder.
Okay.
You're next to me. There you go.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Hot fire. Okay. Hi. How was your weekend?
What did I do? Oh, shit. I gotta think about this.
I know.
now.
I'm like, it's only Tuesday.
I had a funeral.
Oh, so did I.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's up? Same dude?
yeah,
I lost a comedian friend. I think epilepsy.
You died from epilepsy?
I think so. I think he had a seizure.
Oof.
Because his best friend, who has known him since he was a babe, said he died tragically. And then there's been no details since then. I know he doesn't drink or do drugs or anything. So, and he just had his 33rd birthday, 6 days prior. So, yeah. What about your person?
93-year-old third cousin.
Made it all the way.
She did pretty good. Yeah. It was nice because I got to see some of my cousins that I never ever see.
I have a fourth cousin's wife that continually reaches out to me, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, keeps asking me to come over for dinner. I'm like, I don't know. I don't hang out with my first cousin.
That's great.
I know. It's nice, but it's a little creepy to me.
There was a woman there who was very close. She's a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
She's the last one. She's 93. And she still looked beautiful. It had all her wits. It was amazing. Telling us stories about the old days. And
I have a 92-year-old client, Mary, and she is... I was like, have your kids met all your boyfriends? She goes, yeah, they know them all. They know me. They know how I am. I was like, oh my God, you're so badass. That's
so cool.
I love her. She's great. She does the ropes. She'll do everything. I make her ball slam.
Really?
Yeah. She's got one leg that's a little longer than the other. And I was like, great.
You going to make it to 93?
No.
I bet you will.
I don't.
You look good, man.
Thanks. I'm gonna get all the surgeries for
you
sure.
You are?
100%. I'm doing my face for sure. First, I'm gonna do that half up.
Oh no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
I'm almost there now. I'm gonna make it. So, I had a shitty weekend. I kind of told you about it. Well, I had a good and bad weekend. Yeah. And I had did some comedy, but one of my booking agents, so I do these winery tours and winery brewery tours, and it's a one-man show. He books 1,062 shows a year. So the fact that he keeps all that together and running for, I think he's on his 4th year now, is pretty impressive.
That's pretty cool.
It's really impressive. And so he accidentally booked 2 headliners one weekend, and we come with our own crew, so I get to bring my own feature, and if I want to bring a host, I can bring a host too, but I usually don't. And I had a truck, and Frank, it's a lot of people in one vehicle,
How far did you drive?
Happy.
How far did you drive?
Pretty far.
You want to tell us, or
I
it's
drove.
a secret?
No, I drove it was in Columbus.
Ohio.
Correct.
Poor Frank.
So Damon, who I love, Damon Millard, who came with me. He is a. Did you
just burp?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Coca-Cola. Coke Zero, baby. Not sponsored yet.
Okay.
I've had 2 coffee. I had a fitness shoot this morning. They were like, do you want some craft services right when I got there? I was like, no, I want you to take the picture, and I'm going to hoover down everything on the table. Take the picture first. I'm starving. Even didn't eat normally I eat a banana.
You must love all those eat as much as you want places in Vegas or Atlantic City.
I know, but I don't eat so much. During the day, I work overeating, and so by the time I do get to a buffet, I never get my money's worth. It's never. But if they say you can't take any food out of the buffet, I will steal it for sure. Like when I went to Atlantic City, George, I had a banana and I was like, I'll just take this. And George goes, you can't take the food out of the room. And I was like, go get all the bananas. I will steal all the bananas.
That's what you did?
Yeah, I had 4 bananas in me. I had 2 apples on my. I like kept shoving fruit on me just to prove that I could steal the fucking fruit. And then as soon as we got out of the as soon as we got out the door, I was like, we better get this apple out of this.
Stick one of those bananas up George's ass, man.
I know, fuck that dude.
Yeah. So go back. Sorry,
okay, so
you with Dave. Not Dave.
Damon. So
Damon.
I was, that's actually, it was funny. That's the headliner's name, the other headliner. So we show up and there's these 2 other guys there and we're like, oh, crazy. And we just pull up at the same time. And Damon and I are laughing because it was a Wednesday. So I have a 5 a.m. client. I have a 6 a.m. spin class. I have a 7-8. I made him meet me at Whole Foods. I grabbed some snacks and we hit the road. And we hit so much traffic that we're like, we're not going to be able to go to a hotel and check in and shower and like get to this show. So we're gonna have to go straight to the show. And my hair, you've seen me in some dark days. It gets real bad. It was just bad. Like, and every time I get tired, I like pick at my face. So it was a bad scene on my side of the car. And and so we pull up and we're laughing about being like monsters. And we see the 2 other guys, and I'm like digging clothes out of my luggage in the back of my truck. And I was like, oh my God, hey. And they go, yeah, we're on the show too. But they knew we were going to be there. Like, they got the heads up before we did. I don't look at my phone while I'm driving a lot, so I didn't see the text that he was like, I fucked up. So we go in to set it up. I go in and talk to the owner immediately, and I'm like, hey, can I bring Frank in? Because Frank is with me and we couldn't check into the hotel, so what do I do with him? And he was like, yeah, of course, I've got dogs, come bring him in. So I bring him in, I change, and then I come back in where the show is, and they're moving around chairs, which normally would be a headliner's decision. So I was like, interesting, why? I go, oh, you guys are moving chairs? Like, I'm not attached. I don't have that much of an ego where I'm like, but I just thought it was interesting. And then I go, what? Are you hosting? Are you featuring? Like, what's going on? Just to get the conversation started, because they kept posturing like very hostilely towards me, like real weird. And Damon even said, as we were like crossing paths, he was like, they're just like, I don't like their energy. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. So then I was like, what role are you on this lineup? And they go, we're the fucking headliners. This is our fucking show. And I was like, I go, yo, and I put my hands up like this. I was like, yo, and I just I go, chill. We're all gonna get paid the same as we did. I'm sure of it. It's just a fuck up. It's not a big deal. I was like, no, I can just call him and ask him what's up, and he goes, yeah, call him. And I was like, bro, and then he just starts yelling at me about how I need to be putting the chairs down in a certain way, and I was like, yeah, I'm not your slave, so. Also, there's staff at this place. So I go outside to call him, and then I go knock on the men's bathroom door to be like, Damon, don't leave me alone with these 2 guys because they're aggressive. Like, physically, they were aggressive. So then I go back in the room, and I just start fucking around. I'm not listening to what they're saying. They're like trying to boss me around. And then they just started yelling at me so much and walking towards me that I was backing up, and I kept putting my hands up, and to the point that I fell like down into a chair and sat down into a chair. Yes. And then the owner came back in the room.
Why'd you kick their ass, man?
Because
come on,
I wasn't
tough chick.
The whole time I was listening to them. I was like, I don't know what play I want to make yet. I hadn't decided.
Do you have your high boots on and some shit? No. So you could kick them in the balls or something?
I had my vinyl pants on, so not a lot of, I know. I did have my Nike Air Force Ones on, though, so those were shit kickers. Like, I'm ready to go on those. And I did have just a regular sweatshirt on, so it wasn't like I couldn't throw it down if I needed to. But I've only hit one person once, and it was my mom. And so I leave the room. And just like I'm chit-chatting, come back in the room, and like just to get a breath, come back in the room, and one of them is on a chair like doing something with some, I don't know, video equipment, and he goes, I think there's supposed to be tablecloths on the tables. And the owner goes, yeah, my staff will do it. And he goes, no, Mara will.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah. So then I turn, and the owner just looks at me horrified. And I was like, I'll do it. So I go upstairs with him, and I'm made friends with him. We chatted about the origin of Frank and how I got Frank's name. And then he brought me over to the caverns because this is interesting. When the Germans were beginning brewing, you know, you have to brew it, you have to like maintain it at 55 degrees, and because they didn't have like modern ice things, they would just dig into the mountains and just keep drilling until they hit the 55 degree mark, and then that's how they would brew beer.
Wow.
And I was like, that's so cool. And then at this brewery, they had the original like caverns that you could go down. It was
really?
It was really neat. So he showed me all that. And then we walked back in the room with the tablecloths, and I put them on the slowest I think I've ever put on tablecloths. I know, I was like peeling one little piece at a time. I'm sure I was just annoying the fuck out of them. And then guests started coming in, and I was just chatting with the guests, and I was like, I'm just going to have a drink of wine. And then my agent said, hey, for tonight, why don't you go? I was like, I'm just going to go on to Columbus, like cancel our room here, and I'm just going to go on to Columbus because we were outside of Columbus for our first show. And I was like, I'm just going to go there so I can just stay there a couple of nights and just get settled. I don't want to travel tomorrow. This has been a rough day. And then he goes, okay, why don't you leave Damon with those guys? And then I said, why don't we play a game of Would You Rather? And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, I would rather take Magic Johnson's HIV-infected Q-tips and shove them through my eyeball than leave Damon with these two fuckheads. I would rather drink old cum out of an old condom than leave Damon with these. I would rather. And then he was like, okay, I got it. And I was like, yeah. So he was like, they're bad. And I was like, they're bad. And
where are they from? Those
here,
guys?
New York.
Oh, did you know them?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they do a lot of road work. So if you're not in the same circle, it's hard. Like sometimes you don't cross-pollinate. But yeah. And the best part was I did well, and then we left. And then the next night, we had to work with him again, and then he moved them to a different place after that. And I smashed it was great. My set was great. And they recorded all of the sets without, I told them, I was like, please don't record my set. And they're like, if we don't start it now, then at the beginning of the show, I can't start it mid-show. Like it doesn't, he's like, I can't get up access to it. And I was like, well, I don't give you permission to record my set. But then at the end, he told my agent that I was unfunny and offensive. And I go, all right. And I fucking buried them in comment. Like they couldn't, the next guy could not dig himself out of that hole. And then he kept referencing my jokes during he goes, oh, was it that ball sweat joke? Now you have to think about the jokes. And I go, just do your jokes. Like, I was like, just do it. Yeah, I was like, I didn't say it out loud, but everybody else, the women were coming out of the room, grabbing me, bringing me into, like, I took selfies in the bathroom stalls with people during their sets because they were like, you were so great, you should have been at the end. This one guy that looked like Aquaman, fucking beautiful. Like the most beautiful man that I've ever seen at a comedy show or really in person. He was like holding on to me, and then he did butthole pop me once. Like and I was like, I don't know if that was on purpose. Like he put his hand on my butt, and then he like put his middle finger, he was like, pop.
Holy
and I was like,
shit.
I was like, well, you're tall. It's all right. You're beautiful. Go for it. Pop it. And, yeah, it was. So he was like, you should have gone at the end. You were so sexual. And I go, was it my mom voice where I talk about how that's not a sexy porno? Or was it how I asked men to wash their balls because all ball sweat has a very individual smell. Which one was the most sexual for you? And I was like, what? Oh, so they told my agent that I was unfunny and offensive. So I text everybody in a group. I was like, hey, I included them and my agent. I said, he said that you have some notes on my set. And since you recorded the entire show, just thought maybe you could send him the show. Thank you. Cool. And Damon, my opener at the time, he's a headliner, but he goes, their assholes must have been like, fuck, because they bombed hard. And I was like, oh, see, I'm so glad I waited then.
Did the agent look at it? Did your agent look at it?
Yeah. He was like, do you want me to compensate you more? I was like, no, I want you to compensate them less. And I want you to stop booking them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that happened. And then a friend died. And then a woman at the last place, we had this one-off show in Pennsylvania. Woman manager, male owner of this really cool farm. Sorry, I'm thinking about the scenario. Show up. She's got brows painted on like she has no brows, like she had none, and she had that one like weird, like the line, where you're like, I can't stop staring at it. I can't. It's there. Like,
did she have a lot of rouge on her face?
Yeah, she had bangs. And I was like, just grow the bangs a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer in the bangs, Cut a little of the bangs off. Glue them on, Like something. She oversold this show. And then she also had huge tables and was doing dining service. And so it was really hard to get through the tables. So her service was very slow. And so people were very upset about that. So the Damon went up and he was like killing himself to get any laughs. And then it started to turn around. But then the food started coming out when I had to go up, right? So, and you couldn't get through the table. Like physically, you could not walk through the tables because it was so packed. Wow. It was crazy. And to get to the back, there were baby chickens downstairs, so I had to like walk all the way around the building and go down the stairs. It's a winery.
This fucking place?
It's a winery.
Where?
In Reading, Pennsylvania.
Oh my god.
So the agent, again, she's like, he had sent me their conversation, and she had been flirting with him, and so sometimes women get a little like territorial when I show up. They're like, oh, it's a woman comedian. Oh, what is she also fucking him? Like, I want to fuck him. Like a weird competition thing. And me, I'm always like, do I get free food or?
Yes, exactly.
Yes or no on the food? Like, what is happening? Oh, I got to pay for it? Never mind. I'll just wait till I get to Sound Lounge to eat their snacks. So I go up and I start talking to people while they're putting the food down, and she takes a video, and there's a huge laugh at the very beginning of the video, and it's only 7 seconds long, and I am asking a couple how long they've been married, and she wrote to him, and she was like, is she ever going to tell jokes? And I was like, why are you taking this video? Shouldn't you be serving the fucking food, you dumb whore? And then, so he sent that to me. I've had a weekend from hell.
Unbelievable.
Unreal weekend. I start pacing in the back, which is like the green room. You can see the whole room. There's a big glass window. I'm rubbing my whole chest like, I'm going to fucking murder this lady. I was like, what is she going to try and get me fired from a job because she and her older Nana waitress can't get the food out fast enough? Fuck you. And my Damon was sitting there because he brought like an intern person that wanted to do some time, so he was up doing time when I was pacing. And so I waited till the end of the show. We got everything cleared out of the room. We got everything put away, and Damon goes inside with me, and I'm like, we just have to get paid. So I'm sitting there, and she's writing the check to me, and she's being really nice, and her waitress is being really nice, and I am shaking. I'm so pissed. And when you don't want to have a conversation,
yeah, it's hard.
And you still have to like get through it.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, yep, New York, yep, in the city. I live in the city. And she's like, oh, you do? I was like, no, I live in Brooklyn, but I don't care about this conversation. Like, you're not answering correctly. And then I was getting flustered. And then I took the check. I turned around. I started walking away. And I looked at Damon and I go outside. And I turned back around and I go, can I talk to you right now in private over here? And she was like, okay. So she walks over. We're chit-chatting. And I was like, what is your motivation behind, like, why would you do that? I said, you work for a man. We're women. We know it's tough out there for us anyway. Why would we need to battle each other when we can support each other and everybody gets ahead and feels good about their lives? And it's already hard enough. Mm-hmm. And I was like, imagine if I took a video of you tonight not being able to get through those tables and not being able to get the food there and not being able to serve people, and the next comedian is still up and people are bitching about their food and angry. Imagine if he had gotten a video out of context about that. Wouldn't that suck that another woman would do that to you? And she was like, that's not what I meant. And I really meant it just about the first person. And I said, the video was me. And I was like, and I have all of the text messages. And I showed her. And I said, here's a screenshot of all the text messages. I said, which part were you talking about? Which part was taken out of tone there? I'm just wondering why. And I just kept standing there. And then Damon didn't understand when I was like, go outside. So he came back in. He was like, what's going on? Are you coming? And he goes, I saw you and your posture. And I was like, fuck, I gotta get out of here.
They didn't pay you in cash?
No, but I did go out in the car and immediately did that deposit check thing. I was like, oh, fuck, I was trying. And then she tried to hug me and I was like, nah. And she kept trying to like lean forward and touch my arm while she was like, you know. And I was like, no, I don't. I would not do this to anyone. I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't do it if I didn't do anything to you. I did fill your room with paying customers that you couldn't serve. I did do that for you that you could have retained. I had like 7 people write on my Facebook wall from the show what a great job I did. And I sent all those to my agent and I was like, fuck that whore. And I'm not bitter. I don't understand why people keep coming for me. Like, it's like very strange. But
you're too powerful, man.
They do. They try. And I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
I might look nice. I might look nice and powerful, but I will be like a grizzly bear.
Right.
Fuck you. You will not bowl over me. Like my contractor, fuck this guy. I tried to explain to him when he told me that I'll go backwards. Buying a house, and we all know this, and I'm real cheap, I'm real frugal, and I also think I can do a lot of things by myself, which I can. And if anybody, there's YouTube, okay?
Mara was going to do all the work to get the cat shit smell out.
I'm going to do that. There were 40 cats living in this house.
40?
40. Listen to this, though.
Oh, no.
Listen to this.
God.
Actually, maybe we should bring in the guest before we tell this story. Okay.
So what are we doing?
Before we bring in the guest, which I'm very excited about, let's talk about this thing that's actually this app game that is saving the world from me beating them up. Best Fiends. It's if you're looking for a fun way to pass the time while engaging your brain and enjoying breathtaking visuals and a gripping story, your answer is Best Fiends. Actually, it's a casual game anyone can play, but it's made for adults. It's a lot trickier.
Did you play it?
I've played it a lot. I'm actually on level 37.
Are you really?
I am.
You only had to go up to 30.
I know. I'm at level 37.
Look at you.
Because it makes you want to. It's a high strategy. It doesn't look like it, but
I know.
When you first look at it, you're like, oh, this is just like a game. This is like every other game. It's not, because there's like little ways that you can have to get you get very high doing it, because you're like, oh my God, I got this path that got all of the leaves, not just this one little line of them. I figured out how to get all of them. So I've been addicted to it. And I know that I bought some cheat things, but like I bought some tokens, but I haven't used them. So I got to level 37 on my fucking self. And anyway, it's a unique and exciting puzzle experience, unlike other puzzle games out there, which is absolutely true. Best Fiends updates the game monthly with new levels and events, so it never gets old. Best Fiends treats the game like a service to their players. Yeah, and it really helps me a lot. It's been calming me down. It's very nice. So to engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters, trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must-play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. It's Best Fiends. Do we have a code?
No.
No.
Were we supposed to?
Most of the time we get a code. It's really cool. Like, so just go onto your app store and get Best Fiends.
Not friends.
Not friends. Fiends. And this is not. It's not a game for gamers. Like gamers can also use it, but it's just a casual game. It's fun. I like it. It's because I'm not usually like a game person, and I really, really like it. I hope that they have a ton more levels because I'm going to crush it.
Yeah, you got to keep doing it.
I'm going to. I like it.
Good.
It's on my phone. It's that, Bumble, my training app. I know. That's all. That's it. That's all I got. Podcasts.
Best Fiends.
Best Fiends. Okay, let's bring in our guest. He is the co-host of the Anthony Cumia show, and I just opened for him in Grand Rapids. It was super fun. Dave Landau.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I echoey?
No, do you sound echoey?
Maybe.
I
I'm
turned
fine.
you up.
No, I'm good. I'll take it.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it sounds good
You love
for
your voice that much?
No,
that you're
I
like,
hate
I
it.
just want to hear it twice.
Apparently, it sounds homosexual.
Well,
but
you are homosexual.
Well, bi and curious. But no, apparently it's a good deep voice, but it has a bit of a effeminate twang, I'm told.
And you don't do like the hangouts, and you're very quiet. So I bet you would be a hit amongst the gay men. They were like, "What is he all about?"
That could be it. I'm flattered. I just don't like penis. It's just not my preference. I
takes
wish
a
I
lot
did.
to get used to.
Selling out theaters.
I know.
It's a
Can
much
you
more hot
imagine?
commodity
I
than
know.
just straight white
And
guy.
they're hotter.
I've heard.
I've seen.
Yeah, well,
I have eyeballs.
That's true.
Yeah.
They do tend to take better care of themselves.
Especially in
Some.
this area. I'm like, oh, so good.
Now, I have a friend, though, he doesn't take great care of himself.
Who loves the beans?
He loves the penis.
I love the peens too. This is I just did a fitness shoot. That's why I have makeup on, and I didn't shower. They just made it look like I did, and they're like, I love the peens.
I
And
just have a little rat around my nose from my CPAP machine. So that's what I'm wearing.
Oh, CPAP, sexy.
It certainly is.
That really probably makes that bedroom so hot.
Oh, blowing it on the old lady's face. And by that I mean wind from the fucking from the face mask.
You
It's
should
something.
talk about that on like.
I do a little bit. I just started
I know,
to.
but that's really funny.
You
what
had
just
you had a CPAP joke. That's why I didn't do it, because you made fun of somebody
I
with
know,
a
and
CPAP. So I was
you
like, I
talked
can't
about
do it.
CPAP, and I was like, oh, funny. We both have a CPAP joke.
Yeah, but it didn't. For some reason, it didn't bounce. Like usually, I'll be able to play off of what you said, and I was able to play off of other things you said, but not that for some reason. Because I think at that point you had insulted it so bad, people were like, "This poor bastard."
I know. I talk about how ball sweat cleans out your sinuses.
Yes.
It really does. You guys are
Well,
disgusting.
No, I've taken a pee after a jog and been like, wow, I would never want to smell this any closer than the foot and a half I am from it because I'm short.
I'm not even going to go into that story. I've already told it twice and really made people throw up about it.
The penis sweat?
Yeah, but it was like my ex took a shower and still like stuck his ass in my went
You
the
say that
other-
on stage, right?
No,
Maybe you told me off stage. Okay.
Yeah, it was just bad.
Or maybe you did it on our show. That's what it was.
The asshole.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
Mm-mm.
It sounds familiar.
No,
Maybe
I got,
it's just triggering a memory from when I was a young boy.
I got acne from how.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he stuck my whole face in his asshole. And
Why?
he was so nerdy that I broke out. Like immediately, like I have that CPAP line.
Yeah.
I had an asshole line.
Oh, I know. You had an asshole line of acne?
Yeah.
Why did he stick his ass in your face? Did he eat it?
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh, no. I'm not an ass eater.
yeah.
Are you into that? I don't mean to be personal. It sounds like it was a bad experience.
I don't want to do it to them. I don't care if you do it to me.
Well, that makes more sense, though.
Yeah.
You're a woman.
Right.
Where
I wouldn't mind a
men
little.
are-
I just started getting the plugs, and those are, but only like baby ones.
For kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PETA plugs.
It's good they sell those. Yeah. They're in Babies R Us next to the pacifiers. That way it can be both ends. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Only the little ones work. But-
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, thank God.
You don't want to be like, oh, I had to get this.
Oh, this one is the one.
You got anything bucket sized? I got it's a disaster back here. Yeah, that's no good.
It's gonna need a catch bag.
Yeah, you got one of them colostomies? Something I can just tape back there? I really don't need a plug as much as some. You know what you catch fireflies in? Something like that. A jar.
Anyway, really into ass play.
That's not a bad thing. I don't. Yeah, I get it. A man's ass seems like the most dangerous place on earth
No,
to
thank
me.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, especially if you don't know the guy, there's a lot of risk of.
Well, plus,
Hep C.
before that happens, I do an enema. There's so much prep
Yeah.
that there's nothing but the ring.
Right. You're lucky if a guy uses a baby wipe.
Right. and on his face, if he wouldn't even get it close to his asshole. He was like, "Oh, look at this."
Yeah. You don't want a 1-ply quick wipe. It's just like peanut butter looking shit sitting in the hair. It's no good. That's why I'm sure gay men wax, but I just can't go down that road.
You've never waxed?
Oh, no. There's no reason to.
Oh, no, it feels good.
Oh, I'm a guy. It's nonsense.
That's
I shaved my chest once, and it still just grows back white like a Santa beard. And I only shaved it because of surgery.
I've never seen it, but I can only imagine that it's just you have a spreckling of 9 to 10 hairs, and that's it.
It's kind of like that. It's more like 20. I don't want to sell myself short. And then over my belly button, I have what looks like an ace of spades, or just a spade
So hot.
logo. Yeah.
So hot.
It's like a little burning bush. It's like a treasure trail
All
that
the
goes
ladies
out.
are like, "Oh my God, he's married."
It's a shame.
Shit.
I hear them say it. I can hear them. I notice it when I'm on stage because they start sliding off their seats towards the stage. And I'm like, this is...
What is that? A spade full of fur?
Yeah. Boy, if I could just have me one of those, I'd like to eat his unwaxed ass. Although, I do clean my asshole seriously. I do use baby wipes. I don't know why you wouldn't. They're available. They even have a thing called dude wipes.
Yeah.
If you feel embarrassed about the baby wipe.
I used to buy my ex wipes for work.
Was it bad when they were still full every day?
It's you know what these are for, right?
Yeah. It's remember the acne face? That's for you.
That's for that first part.
Yeah.
Part A.
You want me to write your name on them?
I guess
Fucking asshole.
you already made a face tattoo on me.
Yeah, see this?
That's all your asshole.
Yeah, it's good it came off. A rash after sex, I imagine, is frightening. I've not had that in a very long time. Even if I guess it's not a rash, but acne makes it seem...
Yeah, well, he had here's the problem. He had his ass done.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What do you mean done?
So...
Like a turkey?
You know how you shave the spade to you...
Oh, I don't.
Oh, really? That's just natural.
Yeah, that is a natural look.
Wow, lucky.
Mm-hmm. That's genetic.
He
My mom was the prettiest gal in school. My dad was high school captain of the football team, and somehow they made this.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, I'm a Michigan 6.
You are not. You're a Michigan 8.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I'll give myself that.
We were just there.
I'm in LA too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go that high. But
No, 1.5.
what's it when you write your name down? You get how many points? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I guess that's fair. 4. 5 if you go David.
So, what are we talking about? I forgot.
Yeah, this is.
His
his asshole was did, as you said.
Oh
or
yeah,
done.
so
Guy's asshole
he got
did.
liposuction.
In his asshole?
No,
Okay,
but
I was gonna say that's weird.
They took the fat out of his chest and stomach and put it into not his stomach but his gut and put it into his ass.
He had a fake ass.
Yes. So then the cheeks.
Sorry.
It was like a lot of cheek. You
Sure.
know?
It's a belly in his ass. It's gonna be. So you dated a man with a big J-Lo ass that he had made?
I
Who-
hooked him up with the doctor.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And he's like, I can't wait to get this done because she's gonna feast on this buffet of what used to be my stomach and tits.
I used to keep sandwiches in my belly, and now I keep them digested in my asshole.
I got 2 nipples on each cheek. Don't think it's weird. They just had to put it back there.
I know, it's like
You can-
half a spade is on one ass, half a spade is on the other.
But if you squeeze them together real tight, it looks like one playing card.
I didn't think that this is what this episode was going to be about.
I didn't either. Makes 2 of us.
Yeah, so I have to be honest. I set him up with the doctor situation, and then as he was like healing, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to fuck him again.
It's just a fair thought.
I was like, I am so unattracted
Yeah.
now.
I
Mhm.
think just there's got to be something just being yourself, right? And then wanting, like, it just doesn't show a lot of work ethic, I think, if you're not willing to.
Yeah, I was like, you're dating a personal trainer, like,
Right.
Who works out nonstop. Like, just come with me, I don't know, a couple times a week.
Yeah, and instead he's like, I'll just get a fake ass.
Yeah.
You know, like a porn star lady.
Like a gay for pay.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's rough. Did you dump him right after? Or was it when you saw the acne and you were like, listen, you're not using the dude wipes. I have an acne
Actually,
beard.
you know what's really sad is he cheated on me.
Was it with the doctor? Who was it with?
A flight attendant that I used to fuck before or something. I don't know.
What airline?
JetBlue.
Oh, well, that's probably not great.
It's not great.
It's not the best airline. I mean, it's
know.
better than if you said, like, Spirit or what was the other one?
Frontier. No, not
Frontier. It starts with an A. I would never fly it. It just looks like homeless people. Like they'd ask you for change mid-flight. You know what I'm talking about? Collegian or something? I don't know.
There's a Collegiate Airlines.
I think so.
Oh my God, I don't know.
I want to Google shittiest airline.
I'm only flying United right now. I feel like.
I'd do Delta.
I think they used to be in the same fam.
They were. They broke up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Frontier got a fake ass. And Delta wasn't wanting part of it.
Oh God, yeah. I don't. Yeah, he cheated on. She tagged me in like photos of them being together.
That's psychotic.
Yeah, she got more psychotic. She got like I had to go to the police. Psychotic.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And she had done this prior,
To you?
not to me, to a pilot's wife.
Oh.
Yes.
So she was like a homewrecker and a lunatic.
Yes, and that's called
Huh.
cyber stalking. And so she.
It is.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, "You're dumb."
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because all you're doing is leaving a digital trail of how crazy you are.
And then she commented on this podcast's Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, and
I hope she's listening.
screenshotted it and put it up, and I was like, "Here she is, everyone." Enjoy this
is
big
her.
nose bitch. I mean, whatever.
Did
but
he recommend the surgeon for her face?
it was like, I know she had some work done. And I was like, go take
Fix
care
it.
of that.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's God's mistake.
So really, big.
You got a big Pinocchio nose, and you're trying to serve people drinks on JetBlue. They don't want to even make eye contact. They can't.
And then I was like, so she commented on it, and then I wrote back, "You're a flight attendant. You ask people if they want peanuts." And she goes, "You're so dumb. They don't do peanuts anymore." I was like, oh my God.
That's double worse.
I was like, you're an idiot. I was just...
Like some do. It's not important. We understand allergies.
You get it, though, right, lady? Yeah, she was rough. I was like, ooh.
I hate to demean someone's job, but if they're going to come at you, that's a good job to demean.
Yeah.
Unless they're gay and, like, super sassy, and you're like, you, sir, have found your calling.
You definitely need to be making those Southwest Airlines announcements.
You do, because they are hilarious. I don't want to sleep. I want to hear a catty man fucking make terrible jokes over a loudspeaker.
Passive-aggressive things about the people in the first 6 rows. It's the best.
Oh, and
I love it.
Spread out, spread out, spread out. There's more room on this flight. Spread out. And they just demean you.
I do that when I'm training sometimes.
I do that too. I just do it when I look in a mirror. It's weird. I do work out 3 days a week.
Yeah, you're very fit.
It's my schedule. Well, thank you. I'm shocked you said that.
You're getting fit.
I
saw some pictures from a little while ago.
Yeah, I used to be a little fatter. It's depression, though.
Oh, or was that?
Well, when I get
on Wellbutts or
no, I'm on Zoloft.
Oh,
Zoloft. I never took an antidepressant until a couple years ago. And
how's it going?
Good. I'm actually on less of it now.
Do you wait? So you don't take anything? You used to be. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay, good. So you used to be an alcoholic?
Yes.
Okay.
I would still say I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
But I don't drink.
You're not active.
Yes.
Okay. So you can take Zoloft and it's not a big deal?
Yeah, it doesn't get you high.
Okay.
It's just for your brain chemistry. Like there's no feeling you get from Zoloft other than you don't want to kill yourself as much.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
I called 911 when I was coming back from my gig because a woman was walking down Manhattan Bridge, and first of all, like she was almost to the middle.
Was this your long drive home from Grand Rapids?
No, I just did one from Ohio.
Oh, okay, okay.
I get home, there's this woman on the bridge, and I call 911, and the lady was like, "Can you describe her? Is she?" And I go, "She's the human on the bridge." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I know, but was she African American? Was she?" And I was like, "Oh my, I'm hanging up on you."
Like, if she is, push her. Could I speak to someone else? I didn't. It's just some racist woman.
I know. I was screaming into the phone. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
You're like, it's the one who appears like she might jump off a bridge. Look for that one.
Help that lady. Stop asking me so many questions.
Right.
Dispatch someone. Jesus.
And people do that now. A couple people. I mean, people do it all the time and have since the bridge was built, but it seems more prevalent than before.
Yeah.
And I guess the people who survive say their last thought is they wish they didn't do it.
People survived that?
Oh, people survive falls, yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, they don't really say they wish they didn't do that. They have to type it out through their blow straw. But
I think one of them's superhuman.
Yeah, it's certainly regrets. Oh, yeah, I think I was unbreakable. Even if you broke some bones, you'd be like, wow.
That guy, like, come on.
That's God's way of being like, it's just not your time, but jump if you want. Then you just hit the ice.
Oh.
That's why it's ice, too. Like, you don't get unconscious and drown. You're just sort of laying on the ice there.
That's an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. And your face is healing up, though. Nice little ice pack on it.
Oh, that's how I'm going to go. That's how I'm going to get a facelift. Pay for.
The flight attendant should try that. Maybe crashing.
Man. Just nose first.
Plummeting to earth.
When that happened, I was working with Matt Backus, who's a comedian, and he was
I love Matt. He's a friend of mine. Yeah.
Love Matt. And he was making so many nose of the plane jokes that I was like crying, laughing, and I was like, "You're the best person I have in this time."
That's awesome. He's a great. I say kid, as weird as that sounds, but I call him a kid, even though he's probably my age.
He's 31.
Yeah, he's just a little younger than me. I
Yeah.
just remember when I take him on gigs and stuff, and I used to remember when he was the host at Crackers in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just how
That's
I
an
know
interesting way to say Indianapolis.
him. How did I say it?
Indianapolis.
Did I? I mispronounce so much weird shit.
I was like, oh, did you
Let
not?
me try it again. Indianapolis?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Nice.
look
That's
at
like
that.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't be like everybody else. Be unique.
No.
You know?
Yeah, Indianapolis. It's so sad.
Okay.
I mispronounce so many words that Anthony no longer corrects me. He just looks at me and then moves on.
It's like, you fucking idiot.
He's like, God damn it.
Pay him? He's on the salary?
Why?
What is he doing here?
I think he just enjoys talking to me and hearing what words I mess up.
How long have you guys worked together?
A year and a half about.
That's
maybe
it?
a little longer. Yeah.
Oh, you guys seem like old friends.
Well, I've been doing the show for about 5 years. And but then as a guest.
Oh.
But then I actually got the job end of May 2 years ago. So it being February, I guess, yeah, a year and 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of people don't. We'll call them comics from Brooklyn or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get pissed for no reason, but that's that.
I mean, it's just in fun. It's just all good fun.
And I think that's truthfully why he has me there. I'm fairly liberal. I have a different perspective than him, but I agree on comedy. So we both make fun of the same shit.
Yeah.
And that's just what I enjoy, you know.
Also, I listened to Opie and Anthony for years, and then I didn't even consider how talented he was until I started guesting. And when he does the droopy dog and the
I was crying.
I couldn't breathe.
And he
Crying,
has
laughing.
Yeah, he has every voice imaginable. Even yesterday, he just pulled out a new one where I'm just like, what the hell? Like, he can mimic anything.
I think he spends a lot of time with his cats, and he's like, you know what? Let's try this voice today.
Oh, yeah. And when he was a boy, he spent a lot of time alone.
Me too. I should have worked on things, you know?
I don't think he did, though. He was, he worked a very blue-collar job installing, air conditioners and stuff. And then,
Yeah, but that's so monotonous. You just do things, and you can just be in your head.
yeah, that's true. I did do that because I did industrial painting for my uncle, but I got drunk and high a lot on the old job site, and he
So
fired
you were in
me.
your head in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before I did the show with you, I posted about how, do you remember, I don't know if you probably didn't have to take cooking in school, but
I did.
You did?
Yeah, home ec one year. We made pot brownies.
Nice.
Yeah.
We didn't. In our Catholic school, we didn't do that.
Oh, that's odd. You made gingerbread boys
we
for
did
the priest?
and then we had to fold up napkins and how to keep a good home type of a class.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they had one day that you were supposed to take care of an egg. And
We had an egg baby.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah, I threw it at a truck.
I kept mine for a long time, and I brought it with me everywhere. And then I excluded myself from friendships. And I posted about that. I was like, hey, remember when I did that egg thing and then you guys, nobody was friends with me? Anyway, I'm a comic now. Come out to the show.
Right.
I think during those times I could have worked on voices.
You could have. Yeah, you could have had a voice for the egg. It could have answered you back.
I did,
You
but
had
it
a
was
friend.
just a littler version of my voice, I think.
That's what I had with a stuffed animal until I was 7, and then my mom took it.
Oh, why?
Well, she was bipolar, and
My mom's bipolar too.
yeah, it was a downswing day.
Oh.
And she got mad at me and took it, and then I lost hope.
And that's why you are the person you are today.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was like, this one thing I loved unconditionally, and it's gone now.
Yeah, I had a Snoopy doll, and she took the head off.
Oh God, why?
Yeah. Well, it was a lot of down days, you know?
Yeah, my mom didn't mutilate it though.
Oh, yeah. It was I remember my grandma tried to sew it back on, and still the back of the head was I could stick my finger in it, and I was like, I don't think this is 100%, but
It's fine. I'll just date men who are also sewed up.
and that's why I got asshole acne.
Hey, that's long story short of it.
Okay, so you're married
I am.
just the one time,
Yeah, just once.
and you guys had a really cute story.
Yeah, I guess we
She
met
still
at
likes you?
no, but we met we met at Second City in Detroit
Okay.
back in 2003, and she asked me out, and I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, I had 2 girls in the class ask me out. She was first, and the next day was another girl. So
Did you say yes to both?
No, I only said yes to my wife.
Did you want to say yes to the other girl?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were both hot, too. So it was like, fuck. But I didn't want to ruin the class. So I was like, I'm actually going on a date with that girl.
You are from Michigan. You're very considerate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just not like a scumbag like that either, where it's like, I already said yes. I've been more of a monogamous kind of person through my entire dating. I mean, I've
Do you
had.
think it's like laziness or like.
Probably.
Yeah. I can see that.
I don't know. I think it's. I've never really broken it down because I met her when I was 20 or 19 or 20. So any idea of something other than that doesn't really exist for me. And every other girl I dated since I was 13 was like for like a year or a year and a half or whatever.
You dated someone at 13 for a year and a half?
I dated somebody at 13 for like a few months, but then at like 14 a year, 15 a year and a half.
When did you fuck for the first time?
I think I was 14.
14?
Yeah.
What happened? You seem like such a nice, normal family. And
We were.
Like this. There's a little bit of a crazy streak.
Yeah. Well, my dad.
Don't cross your arms. Don't
Why,
close out.
Is that bad?
It just means that you're uncomfortable.
No, I think about that with body language. It was more that I was a little cold.
Oh.
But I was thinking about that because when you do cross your arms, it means you're uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I'm trying not to do that because my body language actually doesn't mimic my thought.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
okay.
It's because I don't know. I've done a lot of drugs. But my dad got very, very sick when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
He got brain cancer, which was a result. It was a soft cell sarcoma, which was a result of him getting Agent Orange during Vietnam.
Jesus.
So he was like my hero, everything to us. He held the family together. I was a straight A student and some B's, but like I would draw all the time. Like we had a very normal family. My mom was a little nuts. Obviously, she was bipolar, but it didn't fully come out until later. I mean, my mom took her own life, and she did it a few years ago. So
what?
Yeah. So it's like her bipolar built up. She was a candy striper, which is somebody who like assists nurses. So back when she did that in like the early 60s, she would see people who were essentially, people with Down syndrome would get electroshock therapy. It was nothing
That's
like
scary.
it is now. So people with depression would just be locked into homes. So she would never admit she was bipolar because she was so terrified of what the world thought of mental illness. So, and she was also a nurse and a very smart woman. She actually had a PhD, preferred to be a nurse because she felt that it was a better position for her to be with patients.
Wow.
Because she genuinely cared about people. She just had another side to her. So she did have a PhD. She's very intelligent, so she could talk herself out of anything. So if even one time she tried to hurt herself, she was committed, she knew how to get out of there before midnight.
Wow.
So, and it was because she lost my dad. I mean, my dad and her dated since they were 14. She couldn't function without him. And basically what happened was my aunt, or I shouldn't say my aunt, she wasn't really my aunt, but we called her that. She stayed with me while my parents were at U of M hospital, and then eventually they had to go to Harvard Hospital in Boston to get all these surgeries. While that was going on, the VA told my dad that they weren't responsible for it, even though it's now on the list. And then my dad's insurance company said that it was a pre-existing condition. So my parents, who were fairly well off, lost everything.
Holy shit.
And my dad came from nothing. I mean, he came from the ghetto, single mother, all that stuff. Like, he came from nothing. He earned everything he had, and then he lost it. So over time, he was, he had a halo drilled in his head. It was years and years and years of just him suffering. And while that was going on, I was simultaneously staying with my aunt, who I didn't know was a pill addict.
Okay.
And they didn't know either. She was a nurse and a very sweet woman. And one day, she was staying with me, and she just didn't come back, which was really weird. Like, normally she'd come home or whatever. It's probably like 16 maybe. She didn't come home, and it was because she had been stealing pills from the ER, and they found her, and they were going to charge her with a capital crime.
Oh, my God.
Like, they were going to push full charges that they could. So she went home and swallowed an entire bottle of pills and died. So after that, I was moved to go and live with my other aunt, who was my actual aunt, while my parents were in U of M getting surgery for my dad. And they would come home periodically, and my dad would have these moments of a few months where he was okay, and it was fine, but at the same time, I had already learned to mask all my problems with drugs. So as I did that, my dad died, and then it was my senior year, and then I ended up doing 2 senior years, and then that summer, it's so
nice you did it twice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I did 2 senior years, and if you count summer school, I went to high school for like 15 years, and then I lost two, and especially one of my very best friends in a really bad car accident. That we were all hanging out at a party, and they died right after. And then right after that, my friend...
Like they were driving?
Mm-hmm.
Drunk?
My friend went to prison for 11 years.
Wow.
My one friend was...
The dead one? Or?
No, he wasn't locked up. 3 people died. But the one girl I didn't know, she was dating sort of, but we weren't supposed to know, the girl who died, who was one of my good friends. And then one of my very best friends died. And his name was Anthony. I drove him to school every day. He and I did a thing called community school together, which is where they put all the bad kids in a different school. So we went from Grosse Pointe North to Grosse Pointe South every morning, just smoking cigarettes. And they were basically like, just do something. And we would normally go out and do like Special K and Coke and smoke weed and drink in my car and listen to Stern and Drew and Mike. And, but yeah, my friend Anthony was driving, my other friend Anthony, and my friend Art was thrown through the car, but he lived. And he's Russian. He's a Russian immigrant. So I don't know if he had any head injuries, because he already sounds like he does. I'm pretty sure it was already not well off before. So, I mean, when you sound like a cartoon, you're like, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I grew up with a bunch of Polish. I'm like, are those Poles Downsy or what?
Yeah, you can't really,
I don't know, you can't place it.
No, it's just something off. And he went from like bread lines to being, a millionaire in the States because his dad came over to train the Red Wings. His dad was actually the one who got paralyzed in the car accident when the limo crashed with all the Red Wings in it. His dad was the trainer.
Maybe it's you. I feel like you were the constant in the.
So many people were though. I definitely was put in the like.
I definitely haven't been doing the math.
Look, all I'm saying is, if there's breaks involved, I'm gonna cut them.
Okay, so.
So that happened. I crashed every car I had. I was arrested 12 times as a minor. They wouldn't really throw the book at me because they can't put you in Wayne County Jail at the time if you're white. I mean, that's just the reality. If you're a white kid from the suburbs, they will fucking kill you.
When I got arrested, I went to East New York, and they put me in the office.
That's why they couldn't.
And this was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, people forget that, like, I did live in Wayne County where Detroit is, but and I grew up on the border of the most violent city in America. So obtaining drugs, weapons, anything you want was just right there.
Pretty easy, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go to the bar at 14, 15, 16, you just drive to a bar. They don't care. It was the Wild West.
I totaled a car. I didn't total one. I got T-boned. Somebody just ran a red light in a not great area, and because I was trying to go to Grosse Pointe.
Okay.
And
were you on Alter?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna take an alternative way home because remember what is that freeway that's right there that you
94.
It can be a real pain in the ass. So I was like, I'm just gonna go take the side streets, and then someone ran a red light, and I was talking to my first husband on the phone, and he was like, get the fuck out of there. And I was like, I gotta wait till the police come. He's like, no, just leave. You got to get out of there. And I was like, oh.
One thing you learn in Detroit is red lights, especially at that time, are optional.
Yeah.
Because I would dust them every time. It was probably another scared suburban person?
He was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, well, the thing is, we got to go. We got to leave. Yeah. Just leave the cars. Let's go.
Let's run. Yeah. And that is what's interesting is you have the Cabbage Patch right there on the border of Alter, and you lived in the Park, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the Park is where South is, which was my other high school I went to after North expelled me. Then I went to East Detroit. Long story, but on that other side, yeah, right there, people don't realize you can look across the street and it is burnt down houses, ghetto. It's a different life. And it's interesting because a lot of my friends were from there. And a lot of my friends were also people that lived on the lake whose parents were in charge of, massive car corporations.
Yeah.
So it's like when I grew up, I saw complete poverty and wealth that I couldn't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
I had a friend whose grandpa invented hangers in cars. Like the little hanger that you just put like a jacket on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's automotive. The guy who invented that, who held the patent, was my friend's like great-grandpa or grandpa. So he had money that you wouldn't even fucking believe.
Art Van's house on Jefferson had so much marble in it, and that it was sinking into the ground.
Yes, if you went by it on like a boat or anything, you could see it like every year go a little bit more into.
I was like, take some of the marble out.
He probably spent easily 6 figures a year just on Christmas lights.
I know. That man. And did he make a recliner?
He made, he sold recliners. Furniture markup. He buys them for, $80 and then sells them to you for $500.
$500.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few of those in our house.
Oh,
comfy. Comfy chair.
I still go to the Art Van. I'll just go to the clearance one because they now do like they have like an outlet.
Oh, yeah, you have a penis. I forgot. I was like, why would you buy a recliner? They're ugly. I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, got it.
Oh, no, I don't have them. I just have a couch that reclines, a leather couch that you can use the electric side. Or you can do the electric slide if you want. Before you sit in it. Either way.
Okay, let's get back to why you're fucked up.
Go on.
Before we talk about your horrible furniture taste. Yes.
Yes.
Tuts contend. Okay,
Yes.
So everybody's dying around you.
Yes.
But rich.
Rich and poor, depending on who I was with. And at the time, raves were very big, towards that. So the ecstasy boom happened, and LSD was the best. And that I would start taking every other day. And I took...
What?
Yeah.
They tell you not to take it more than 10 times in your lifetime.
I've mathed out 350 and hits, and my friends tell me that I'm wrong. It's more.
What?
Because I'm not really counting the times that I would put acid onto sugar cubes and I didn't wear gloves, and then it would just seep into my hand, and I was like, damn it. Next 10 hours. Fortunately, I wasn't really doing anything unless I was working, which my jobs were fairly easy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I did a lot of acid, a lot of mushrooms, which I don't think are as bad. Acid is ridiculous, but I didn't do a ton of ecstasy, but I was a big part of that culture. Yeah, see, I didn't. I probably did it 30 times maybe, but maybe more.
Maybe you did it more than me.
I don't remember, but I didn't do it a lot, Like when I look back and I'm like, probably done it 5 times, and then I thought about it. It was like my arrests. I'm like, oh, wait, no, there was this. I'm like, oh, shit. But I didn't like it.
Oh, I love it.
It was just, I didn't hate the feeling, but when guys are coming up to you like, hey, man, can I pull your arms? You want to put Vicks on your face? Let's hang some lemon wedges from your ear. You're like, this fucking sucks. I don't want to dance. I'm not a dancer.
People are like, can I rub your spade?
Yeah, they're like, ooh, you did a burning bush. And
I think I rubbed the inside of my, somebody's leg for 4 hours.
Yes.
I was like, this is the best.
It may have been me. Did you go to the firehouse ever?
Did it have red velvet walls?
Probably. It was a rave on Mount Elliott in Detroit. My friend used to sell balloons there, and the Russian mob ran it, I believe. I could be wrong. Russian mob, I'm sorry if that was you. I take it back. My friend's little brother tried to rob it, and that was not a good move.
Not a good move.
Yeah, he's not around anymore.
Have you gone to Thai Island out in L.A.?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait, you stopped before.
No, I lived in L.A. in 2002, actually,
Before
briefly.
you stopped doing
I was doing Second
everything?
City, but I went there to... I had been through a lot in the years prior, and I just went to party. And the guy who I live with is now in charge of Marvel. The other one owns a bar, and I do comedy. It was kind of an interesting group. But I just went there to do drugs.
Yeah.
You
There's a
know?
place called Thai Island that everybody used to go to. It's looks like a townhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a guy with an AK-47 at the front. And he's like, $10 to get in. And you're like, yeah, I'll pay it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've seen that guy.
Yeah. And then you just go in. It's just a bunch of really large. It looks like you're in a movie because they're very large Russian mafia dudes.
Yeah,
with
they
just
were big into the rave.
mounds of cocaine on the tables
Mm-hmm.
and canned beer.
Was
I
it
was like-
ketamine or coke?
You know, honestly, I didn't do any of their drugs. I was like, I brought my own Coke. I'm going to do my Coke because I don't trust you guys.
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then they still made us go one at a time into the bathroom.
That's weird.
I know. I was like, we're all doing Coke in there. Can we just, it's like, just let us sip.
Everybody who does coke usually does it together, so
Yeah.
you all feel like garbage. That's kind of the deal. It's like, hey, we're all trash. Nobody likes to really do coke alone. That's when you know you have a problem, is when you're just sitting in your own house listening to
doing
Rush.
coke.
Yeah.
Just blowing lines. My friend Vicky, I brought her with me the first time, and she's from England, and I remember looking at her on the floor, she was like just sprawled out, and she lifts up her head like an hour later, and she goes, "We almost died. It was the best night of my life." And I was like, okay, I'm still scared, and I never want to go there again.
Yes, the worst. We almost died. That's how I felt, too. My friend had a van. He got a van the day he got expelled from high school because his dad didn't know he got expelled from high school. And the van was red with cow print interior, had a cow print roof, and it had all sorts of Christmas lights in it and everything. And the side of it said nuke proof on both sides in like green ooze. And we took that down to a rave. And of course, he was too fucked up. He didn't even know how to drive a stick anyway. So he went down there grinding the gears, and we ended up
There's
getting...
a van with a stick?
Yeah, it was a VW bus.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was... The cops would actually drive by and just do the finger-to-mouth joint gesture because they almost appreciated the fact that it was so obvious we were all fucked up. And I remember sitting in the ghetto after he couldn't get the car to start in the middle of this rave parking lot, waiting for daylight, nervous as fuck. And the only thing that was working in the car was the battery, so the Christmas lights were on. So it was just like, I think one of us was black and the other four were white, just sitting in the middle of the hood, just like, well, we're probably going to die. So...
Poor black guy was going to die first.
Oh,
They
yeah.
always do.
He could have just got out and been like, yeah, get him. That's what I would do.
Okay, so why would your wife want to marry you? What happened here? What happened to your wife? that she-
Insecurity.
and then you just keep like every once in a while like bring it back up. Like
Yeah, I just never compliment. I simply
she has like one weird tooth, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
not.
I call her
Still no
Snaggle.
invisible- Yeah.
It's I'm like, hey, Snagglepuss.
No, it's my cute name for you. No,
Yeah.
I like it. And then she's like, oh my god, I have to stay with it forever.
Yeah, she's the most normal person I know.
That's so nice.
She honestly came from a great family. Her dad worked for Ford. Her mom worked for a school. Very, like, standard middle America, hardworking, middle-class family. Middle-class values, put herself through school with her own money, works very hard. And that's just...
You got lucky.
Yeah, I did. And that's when we have a son, and it's amazing. And I think at the time when we met, I was really going full force at trying to do improv and acting and that sort of thing. So she saw the creative side of me, not the fucked up side. Now, once we were married, she saw me in a lot of bad situations, because we had a condo and I'd be like sleeping on the floor. She'd walk out and go, yeah, there's a giant orange streak on the side of your car. And I'd be like, oh, a truck kind of cut me off and I hit a cone, and she's like, yeah, that's great. And we'd just leave, and I'd look outside and be like, whew, better check the old bumper for shoelaces.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, I would drive blacked out, and it was bad. It was really bad.
Thank God you're alive.
Yeah, I crashed. Up until I quit drinking, I totaled every car I ever owned. The day I got a license, I totaled my dad's car.
Whoa.
The day I got it, I ended up in a high-speed chase after I'd given somebody a lawn job.
I'm sorry, a lawn job?
It is when you get up on somebody's lawn and you basically break torque and you turn the car so it does donuts and you kick up and ruin their grass.
Got it. Nice.
So I was giving those, and this guy was sitting in a BMW and I had a Buick Regal. I had a V6 supercharged. It wasn't slow, but he had a V8.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be funny because he was sitting in his car to be like, aha. And I got up and I did it. And you could hear the dirt hitting his house and stuff. And he ended up in a high-speed chase with me. I had my cousin and 2 good friends with me. My cousin lived in Arizona at the time. And it was just like, what is wrong with you Detroit people? We end up in a high-speed chase. This is in Grosse Pointe. I end up turning down a street that has a very sharp left turn, but I didn't see it. So I hit the curb, the engine dropped, and I slammed into a tree. All the airbags deployed. Everything was fucked. And then I woke up just enough in time to see everybody running from the car, and it was just me left in it. And at the time, we were having a family reunion. So the trunk had popped open, and I didn't know it was filled with like beer and soda and chips and shit. So that exploded, and it looked like a Super Bowl party of alcohol and stuff leading up to the car. Yeah. And my dad, who was sick at the time, but still like functional and a Vietnam vet and very tough, I remember I woke up and he was there, and I was like, don't worry, I'm okay. And he punched me in the face.
Oh, my God.
Which he was never a violent man, but it was his brand new car. And after I got up, I hear the cop go, I swear to God, he goes, he's up if you want to hit him again.
Oh, my God.
So, and none of all my friends were gone. My dad knew I wasn't alone, so the cops were like, we need to know everybody who was in the car. And then my cousin Andrew wasn't allowed to visit us anymore. Oh. And now we're fine. I mean, his mom loves me and everything, but yeah, it was a bad night.
Yeah, that is a bad night.
It started bad because I snuck out the car. My aunt had actually blocked her car in the driveway, worrying that we might try to get a car. So my porch was on the left, and then my neighbor's flower garden and a small pine tree was on the other side. And I put it in reverse, and I'm like, I'll just gently back over her gardening and pine tree. So I did that, and it just left tire tracks. And this woman hated me because one time I was really high, and there was just a dead pigeon, right? And I just went and put it in her mail slot. So she was like sitting there reading when a dead bird just fell in the foyer. And then she sees me running away laughing. And my mom was like, did you put a dead bird? I'm like, no, what kind of fucking sick fuck would do something like that? So she hated me anyway. She moved after that. And yeah, I ruined her lawn and then took the car.
Good.
Yeah. And
you were a good kid.
I was a brilliant young man.
You were just...
I'm writing a book now, and it's cool because I'm getting to vent a lot of stuff and putting a lot of stuff in there. But it is hard when I look back on a lot of the things that I experienced.
When do you think you're going to be done with your book?
Very soon. I'm on the last chapter, and I'm just going through the editing process now.
Wow.
And the last chapter is actually a more detailed account of what I just told you. That was the one that for some reason I've been saving for last to write because I keep having... Okay, I'll include this, I'll include that. Mm-hmm. Like, I passed out in a toga at a red light. I had a lot of weird arrests, and it was pretty bad. And I was harassed by the police. I was beaten up in my driveway.
You were beaten up in your driveway by the police?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I spit on his face. I swear on my life.
Well,
he was poking me, though, and calling me a loser. And here's what happened. I had come home from a night of partying. I had a Cherokee, a red Cherokee, like a 91.
Yeah, Jeep.
Yeah,
everyone.
And it had a humming noise in it, which was annoying because I dropped the drive shaft the day I got it. And however they replaced it, it would be like, ee. So when I go to Taco Bell, they'd be like, turn your shit off. Taco Bell was just off 8 Mile. And I, anyway, I came home and
I went to Taco Bell. I'm just gonna tell this super.
I want to
fast.
hear it.
And who I was working with this last weekend, he was like, "Can you please go to Taco Bell?" So we went there and we ordered food, and then we pulled up to the window and this guy comes over. They left us at the window for so long. They must have been so high in there. He comes in, he goes, "Did you need something?" And I go, "Yeah, food." And he goes, "Oh yeah."
I love that. Or when you pull up and they're all smoking, I'm just like, I'm going to drive out of the lot. They don't want me.
They don't need your business here.
No, it's why I never get lippy either. I never have. It's like, you don't want to eat food. Don't get mad. I'm always like, hello, please. I would like a chicken quesadilla. Please, if you have the time to make it, sir.
Please.
Please, and thank you. You're a human being with integrity.
My best friend doesn't realize that the speakers have changed since 1997.
Oh, so you can't just talk and say shit?
So, well, she yells everything.
Oh,
She's
no.
like, "So what do you want?" And then she'll turn and she's like, "I'll take a chicken quesadilla." Like,
You know
don't
they're
have to
throwing their headphones off. Like, have you ordered since Burger King in 94? There's been amazing technological improvements.
Okay, so you go to the Taco Bell.
Does she yell on the phone as well?
No, just at
Okay.
when she did that, I was tear crying. I was like laughing so hard because it had the full screen, with the moving things I was like, they can hear you. They could hear me when I told you what I wanted.
Yeah, if you whispered from the back, they'll be like, okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
You want hot sauce or no?
Yeah, you want so spicy?
Yeah, but when she turned, it was so loud. I was immediately crying, laughing. I couldn't breathe.
It's
I was
like
like, just chill.
You're like, just go. Just go.
They don't want to see her.
No, they're going to spit in everything because you don't know how to talk to people. You just yelled at them.
Okay,
yeah, it's no good. Oh, so I had my car, and I take it, and I pulled into my driveway, and I accidentally smashed into my garage. So it's very late at night, and I get out, and I'm like, well, my bumper was fucked up because I hit the right corner of my garage. I'm like, I should probably quietly hammer out my bumper. So I got out, and I was hammering out my bumper when somebody obviously called the police and said, hey, Dave's hammering out his bumper, because they knew me by name. I mean, I remember times where I would wake up in my driveway just fully clothed, and my neighbors would be like, morning, Dave. And I'd be like, hey, how are you? Good day to you. And then just go inside because I had had a cigarette and passed out from the amount of alcohol and drugs that were in my system. Usually much more than the money I had in my wallet.
That's so good.
$100 of designer drugs in me.
What a portfolio you had.
$4 in the old wallet. And so I'm hammering it, and this guy who had thrown me down a staircase at a party and was always following me, he shows up with his partner. He walks back, and he's like, what are you doing, Landau? And I'm like, just working on my car here. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I go, I live here. That's what I'm doing here. I'm immediately being a smartass. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, it's a sound violation. And I'm like, okay. He goes, well, how much you been drinking tonight? I'm like, I haven't. And it's like, and you been doing any drugs? I'm like, no, I don't touch the stuff. And he's like, why are you such a fucking loser? And I go, I don't know. He goes, when are you going to do something with your life? And he starts poking my chest and just saying all this shit. And he goes, what are you going to do with your life? And I go, maybe I'll become a pig like you. And I went, and I swear on my life, I spit. It hit him right in the middle of the eyes, and it was dripping down his face. At which point, he pulled his, I'm not a spitter either. So I really, as he was insulting me, I was working it up. And I get dry mouth. It took a minute. So he...
Drugs does that to you.
It does.
It really...
And even the Zoloft still does.
Lubricate.
I can't... You do. And he pulls back his nightstick, cracks me across the stomach. I go down. His partner hits me. They both hit me a bunch of times. I have blurred memories of what happened, but I woke up with a tube in my dick, handcuffed to a hospital bed, with my feet bound in I shouldn't say handcuffed, but bound, restraints on my hands and feet. And when they ended up dropping the charges, which I think came down to
Them being abusive.
exactly
yeah.
and I was too young to really realize I should press charges. My parents didn't really know what happened,
Mm-hmm.
but they just knew I was getting my stomach pumped, so it tasted like charcoal.
Through your dick?
Yeah, they put it in your charcoal. They put charcoal in your mouth, and then up your urethra, they pump out the alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whew.
So I get woken up, and I'm like, "Oh, good morning." And this nurse goes, "I'm going to take your legs off or your hands off first." And I go, "Okay." She goes, "Listen, please don't do anything when I take your legs off." She goes, I'm going to take this tube out, and you're going to feel the worst pressure that you've ever had to urinate in your entire life. It's going to be the worst feeling you've ever had. Just please realize you don't have to pee." And I was like, "Okay." So she undoes my legs, and as she's pulling it out, which hurts real bad, once it came out, it was the worst feeling I've ever had, where like I'm trying not to run through her. She moves, I run to the bathroom to go pee, and it's the worst pain I've ever had, and nothing comes out.
Ugh.
I'll never forget that. Because
It's like a UTI.
yeah, I was just filled with charcoal.
Oh.
And then spring break was a little bit after, which I still went on to my friend's cottage, and
Your parents still let you do that?
yes, well they weren't home.
Oh, yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
my dad was there the night it happened,
you're,
but they
like,
had to go back to
self-governing.
U of M. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, at that point, my grandma was staying with us.
She's a real
And
pushover.
well, no, she just slept a lot, and I would steal her Vicodin.
Oh, that's good.
I keyed her car once. She wasn't a lovely woman.
I just found my ex's Vicodin from his butt surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, yes.
Look what I
I
found.
know. I was like, I
surprised
forgot
you-
I stole this.
Good. I hope it hurt.
It did. I have pictures. It looked like it hurt.
Oh, I bet. And good. Yeah. So yeah, my grandma was staying with us. So yeah, one day she just accused me of stealing her pills, and we got in a big fighting match, and then I keyed her
Because
car.
you did steal her
Yeah,
pills?
that's right.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "My sunbird, there's a giant scratch on that. Do you know how that got there?" And she's being passive aggressive. I'm like, "You know how it got there."
Wait, isn't Sunbird the same as a Cavalier?
Yes, or
okay.
the same as a Sunfire, except this one
Yes.
was Pontiac and a Cavalier Chevy. Because
And
remember how they all
the
made the
key-
same shitty cars?
Yes,
Yeah.
down the side of it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. It was no Ford Topaz.
That's my parents had one of those.
Did they?
Yeah.
Was it Aqua?
We drove, it was blue, like not the Ford blue, but like a little bit darker.
Mm-hmm.
But we drove to Montana in that.
That's a fun trip.
That is a trip.
Was it a 2-door?
It was a 4-door.
Ooh, a 4-door
Oh.
Topaz. That's a step up. Was it an SE?
I don't even know. It was my parents' first brand new car. And then they're like, you know what? We should put 80,000 miles on it immediately. Let's go
Yeah.
to Montana.
Seems American cars are well built now. It's the 90s. They don't just fall apart.
Yeah, let's just get in there for a good 20 to 50 hours
It's
at one
safe.
clip.
Yeah. Cheers. If someone rear-ends us, we don't want to be crushed. Let's go. Yeah, the Grand Ams and shit. Those
Oh,
cars
God.
just fell. When I see a Grand Am on the road, I'm just like, how?
I
It's the
know
shittiest
now.
car
It's
ever
the
made.
shittiest car.
Ever.
Everyone in high school had one because they bought like 10-year-old models.
Yes.
And they're like, yep, I can afford this.
It was, Grand Ams, a lot of Ford Thunderbirds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people we had Cherokees, but very few, like the really rich kids had Caddies.
I had a Probe.
I had a Ford Taurus Show, a Mustang 5.0, and a Cherokee.
You call it a show?
It was a Ford Taurus Show, SHO.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you call it a I was like,
no,
I
they're
don't know
called
that-
shows.
They are?
Yeah.
I thought they were called SHOs.
No, they're shows.
They're fast.
I love that car.
They're fast.
Yes.
They
I know.
still make those.
I remember how fast it was going when I totaled it.
When I came back,
They stopped making them, but they did make newer models like a couple years ago, which are really awesome looking.
my ex-husband had one, and I borrowed it when I came to feature for Michael Costa over New Year's once in Grand Rapids, and then he brought his new wife, which was I got really hammered, and then I was like, I think I need a drink to get through this night, so I'm gonna do that. So yeah,
Did you take his car? Well, no, the
Well,
hotels.
yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he let me drive the car. I was like, this whole weekend is fucked. Like my brain is done. Yeah.
And you're in Grand Rapids on New Year's where they drink like crazy. And Costa's crowd will too.
Yeah, I cried.
I would assume.
I was like, I gotta go.
I'm sure Mike was very confident in himself until he was alone.
Yep.
He's great.
Yeah.
We started together. He's a good dude.
He's never gonna let me work with him again. When you first start, or like, yeah, I was doing like weird things that you did, but like at the first 3 years of my comedy career, and so I really, did a nice job burning some bridges there. They were like, "Oh, I'll never." Like, I'll pat you on the head and be like, "So I gotta see you," and then they like get as far away from me as possible. But yeah, I'm like, I get it.
At least you own it. I thought you did amazing. I mean, the crowd loved you.
Thank you. I had a great time.
And I'm not kissing ass. I mean, they really did love you.
Midwest is my crowd, I can do a Midwest voice all day.
Oh yeah, it's funny because you and I did that voice on stage. We both do it.
Yeah.
Where it's just sort of Fargo, but not. But it's.
Well, my mom's from Montana, northern Michigan.
So she has
like a weird mosh.
She has the Rube voice, which I hate to say it, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she does.
There's fellas in the neighborhood that I don't think they're Mexican. I don't know. They're fine though. They're nice people. They park their cars on the grass. Like that.
She told me one time, there's a show with a rabbi and a priest. They talk to each other. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
I sit on the priest side of the room though.
I don't look at the other side, but I know it's happening.
Yes, I mean, yeah, after I'll talk to him, maybe get a bagel, but I'm not going to sit there and, no, I tune out when he talks.
It's blasphemous.
Yeah, it's against, I get it. You have the first book, but we have two, and I like the Jesus, he's a good guy. It's hard to not do that voice because it's so fun, and if you're from there, you know somebody who sounds like that.
Yeah, for sure. I was doing the voice from the beginning of my career, but you suck at the beginning.
Well, it's once you become confident to do any voice, it's or to be a different character in your act or learn how to be more conversational. You can build the ability to do it, but at first you're nervous because you don't know how you actually sound.
Received.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Because I'll do that voice as a lot of people in my act, like a mother-in-law or my wife, and they're like, "Does your wife really sound like fucking the cop in Fargo?" I'm like, "No. It's not Frances McDormand. It's just it's a voice at a point in the show that's just funny."
What happens when your wife comes to see? Like, she drove out to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just like chill in the hotel, or you guys actually go out, or what?
No,
if she comes
to any of my shows, she'll come out, but then usually if she goes to a show, she comes with a bunch of friends. Like she'll go to Ann Arbor and get I'll give her 10 tickets, where she'll bring a bunch of people, or Royal Oak, when I do the Comedy Castle, same thing. She brings out work friends and her other friends. No, I do the same act.
You make her work? That sucks.
No. I make her earn the tickets. No, I don't. My act, regardless of what anybody... I mean, it's not. I'm not even going to defend it because I'm just going to say I'm good at what I do because I am. Like
you are. I said it.
Yeah, and I
said it when I came back on this.
I
podcast.
have zero confidence about most stuff, but I'm a good comic. So, and I've worked hard to be. I wouldn't tell you that, and I have to work hard. Like I want to be better. I think every comic can get better. That's what I love about comedy is you can't be perfect. You just have to work. And I love the creative aspect of comedy and always getting better.
That's maybe why you were such a fuck up, because you needed that constant challenge.
I did. I hated school. And the things that were more challenging in school, I succeeded in. And it was largely art, like making videos. And I remember I had all Fs on my report card except for art and TV. I had As.
Oh, my God.
Because I'd show up.
Yeah. Fun.
And I would work hard. And I was playing with special effects and doing things that I wouldn't do, I had no interest in other stuff. And it was... It made me happy to do that.
I made a video about how the main employer in our little city was a major environmental hazard, and I don't know where that video went.
Aaron Brockovich has it.
It's about Hush Puppy shoes.
Really?
That's where they. And I was
I
like,
had a pair of them.
I was like, these get dumped, and they have so much everything that goes into the chemicals to make them, and I was like,
oh, it's
and the
dumped with
smell-
shoes. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, oh, the video disappeared.
I made the opposite, where I made a video called they said make sure it said don't litter in school. So I had people like dumping out
Littering?
full trash bags in the parking lot and like just littering everywhere and just making a horrible mess. And then I'd stop them and go, how do you feel about littering? They're like, oh, I think it's a huge problem, right after they just like threw 30 things on the ground. And I showed it to my teacher, and he goes, did you have them pick all that up? And I go, and he goes, yeah, I didn't. Thanks for not lying. You still get an A.
I was following this dude down Atlantic towards, I don't know, the beach, and he just drank some soup and then threw the cup out and then took the top off his Perrier and and I was like, what? And he had this really sick Mercedes.
Really?
And I just kept getting more and more angry at him as like more things were flying. I was like, what adult does? So I pulled around him and I stopped and I got diagonal. I was like, you're a disgusting pig. And then I got back in the car and my friend was like, you have anger issues, I think. I was like, damn, I just like stuff them for like the right moment, you know? You look so nice. I'm like, I'm really not.
You're like, do you know what my mom did to my Snoopy?
I know.
Yeah.
I will do this to this man right now.
You will have a hole in your neck you can feel. No, I get it, though. Like, I would drive around. This was even when I was irresponsible as a high school. Like, I only did that video because I thought it was funny. Mm-hmm. But I would smoke cigarettes and then have a full ashtray, then dump out my ashtray. And my friends were like, why don't you throw it out the window? I'm like, I'm not an asshole. And this was, mind you, I'm drinking and driving high as shit. Like, I even had a bag.
I'm not a dick.
Yeah, like I even had a bag for beer cans because I would just drive around and drink all the time. So you just throw it in the bag, and then you'd stop, and then I'd throw away the bag of beer cans in a dumpster.
I have a friend right now that is that I'm suspecting that she's purse drinking.
Did she carry a lot of scope?
No, but she does stumble a lot and gets very animated. And I was like, how did you get drunk off half a beer when you sat down?
Oh,
And I'm like, you definitely pre-drank on the way here.
Did you ever sit back on her couch and you're like, this feels like bumpy, like there's a bottle.
What's happening? I don't.
Do I feel glass on my ass?
What's going on here? Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna have to step in soon. I think it's like one of those moments.
You should. I mean, if she's at that point too, I mean, she's hiding her addiction.
So it's like you should.
Absolutely. If you can, but the problem is it's all up to them. It's 100% up to them. I was just dealing with somebody who was a meth addict who was shooting it. Mm-hmm. And the more and more I've dealt with addicts over time and being one, you know when you're being manipulated and lied to because it's all the time.
Yeah.
And you just have to figure out a way to let them know you're there, but it's ultimately up to them 100%.
I tried to explain that to one of my friends who was telling me about a new relationship she's in and how he was a secret alcoholic. And she's like, yeah, but now we're sharing everything. And I said, you need to, and I wasn't very sensitive, didn't coddle her through this. And I was like, you need to be open to the idea that he's even lying to you about those things. I was like, so I think you should just wait and see.
Right.
I was like, pull back a little bit and watch what happens and see what happens with his actions. And she's like, you were very gentle with me. I was like, oh yeah, well, I don't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah, you're like...
That's the message, and I'm gonna
take it.
Yeah,
run with it.
I have to wrap this up, but I want to have you back because we didn't talk anything about your fucking marriage.
Oh, right. Yeah, we can do that as well. I'm an open book and willing to talk about anything.
Good. I had so much fun.
I did too. Thank you for having me.
Okay, part A. This was part A. Dave Landau's going to be back. Where can they find you?
DaveLandau.com. My new album, Nimble Fingers, is available on anywhere you can find music.
He's very good.
Thank you. No, that's what I was saying was I don't really trash my wife like I'm the asshole in the situation.
Oh, I know.
So
I just want to know how you're keeping it together.
That's how is like I'm pro woman and it goes in my act by showing how I'm stupid. and other people, I mean, the newer audience members who just get offended by everything don't have the ability to understand irony, but other than that,
Yeah.
DaveLandau.com, at Landau Dave, Dave.Landau on Facebook and Instagram.
I'll tag him and
Yeah.
everything because it's a lot. He didn't.
It's a lot of
He
stuff.
didn't brand across the board,
The Anthony Cumia Show with Dave Landau in tiny letters. You can find on Compound Media and subscribe at compoundmedia.com.
Is it on that?
Yeah.
Your name is on the...
Yeah, you can't see it. It looks like a line, but it's there. He said he's making it bigger now because I'm officially, I've
You've
done
said
it.
enough words wrong.
Yes.
He's like, all right, you've entertained me enough.
He put Artie's name first, which was a swing and a miss. And this time around, he's like, I'll just put it real tiny and make it interchangeable because the last recovering addict I had wasn't recovered. But now he's like, oh, no, you're not.
We'll blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, and now he realizes, he hasn't relapsed in 2 years. Well, we're good.
Oh, he still has his nose. Okay.
Isn't that nice?
Whoops, I'm sorry. I love you, Artie.
He's certainly not a flight attendant.
Or he wasn't. He finally did his nose job.
Yes.
All right. So, yes, please follow us at Happy Never After Podcast on Instagram. Rate, review, share, and also Be Frank Network. Make sure to check out all the new podcasts that have started. Wasted Wisdom, I Love You, Please Stop. And, 3/12, March 12th at Gold Bar, we are launching I Love You, Please Stop with Wendy Starling, and I will be there. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.